So over the holiday break, I really took some time to reflect on all of the goals and achievements that I've made in 2025 and how far I came as a senior developer and just a developer in my career. I mean, I've been in the game for over 12 years, and that's a lot of experience. And when you look at experience, there's good experience and then there's bad experience. And the bad experience actually shapes you as you continue in your career, and I learned a lot from my failures. I learned a lot from my successes. And I just thought about, what would I say to my younger self, going back before I started my career? Are there any real game that I could tell myself before jumping into the tech space exactly what you could do to move a lot quicker, then also do the things that you want to do without getting stuck? And honestly, there's a couple things I'll tell myself. So, number one, and this is very important, is stop comparing yourself to other developers that's on your team. When you first start off in your career, you're going to be have that imposter syndrome. You're going to think that you don't know as much as this developer does. This developer obviously knows more than you. You're going to fail. You try to do everything on your own. You try to show out, and that ego drives everything. I'm telling you right now, if you go through that, you're going to run into a lot of problems. When I first started, I thought I knew everything, only worked on my own. I didn't really reach out for help. And that really hurt me in the long run. Having people that know more than you and learning from them is going to teach you way more about not making mistakes, understanding how to write code, and understanding what really matters as opposed to just trying to figure all this stuff out. And if you're fortunate to work on a team that has all that, you're good. You're going to be learning and growing. You're going to be really jumping in and actually being excited about starting a project or fixing a bug. And if it's something that you're stuck on, you could just reach out to whoever has the time on your team and really ask them a lot of questions and kind of help with just walking through the problem and trying to brainstorm about what the solution is. I didn't really get that until later in my career, but if I would have started out like in the first few years, I definitely would have hit leaps and bounds and broke through plateaus that I was experiencing. And a lot of how I broke through those plateaus was actually buying a course online, reading through forums, really practicing in repetition just to kind of understand exactly what's good versus what's bad practice. Don't compare yourself to other developers. Trust me. If you're on a team where it's all egos and everybody's just kind of worried on their own island and they're just doing the things that they want to do, that's not how you're going to grow. So if there's someone on your team that can help you, that knows more than you, of course, if there's something you're stuck on, reach out to them, ask for help, schedule out that time, and I guarantee you, you will be happy that you did. Number two is communication over everything. I used to think that just writing code and fixing bugs, doing projects is the way to go. There is some truth to that. But when you're working on a project, you have to understand the requirements. If you can't understand the requirements, you're going to be building something that doesn't mean anything. And it might be a complete and total mess and you have to fail. If that's the case, you're going to have to do it multiple times until you really get the bigger picture. Starting off with your communication, actually talking to people, actually working on how you could break down a problem into the simplest form so that anybody could get it is a win-win game. It's not about the code. The code will always be there. There's going to be times where it's going to be perfect. There's going to be times where it's going to be flawed. There's going to be times where you need to refactor things. And sometimes that's going to be fun. Sometimes that's not going to be fun. But the more you communicate with others and understand what the problems are, and you're able to talk about it and you're able to mentor, that's what it's all about. That's how you move up. That's how you get promoted. If you know, say, for example, if you're a subject matter expert at a particular library or framework or just a particular area of your project that you're working on currently, and you're able to talk effectively in terms of what problem this piece of the code is solving, what problems that you are facing right now that you could improve on and get buy-in from other people so that they understand, like, okay, this is the problem that we need to solve here, and your solution actually makes sense. I mean, you can move up quick. And I had to learn that like late in my career, late. And once I learned that communication was key, it was a wrap. I already knew how to communicate. And that's the crazy part. I always thought that if I focused more on the code portion of it, it would actually help me get promoted into like these different areas. But honestly, communication and knowing how to present yourself goes way more than the code itself. I mean, you could learn how to code. You could use AI tools today, right? Like you can use AI right now to help you code out a solution and actually see if it's viable or not, right? Don't vibe code it, but just read through the code, see if it's viable. If that's the case, then you should be all set. I honestly don't even worry about how the code looks. As long as it functions and is fundamentally sound, we should be good. But what makes the most sense is your communication breakdown on projects. How do you go about going through a project and breaking down the requirements and finding little edge cases or different requirements that weren't even talked about in the beginning phases and actually improve on that idea? If you're able to provide a clean solution to anything, people are going to look at you as an authority figure and they're actually going to reach out to you for more help. So work on that communication and always be dependable. All right. Don't just be on your own island doing your own thing. Like that gets boring after a while. Like I used to be like that. Like, oh, I'm just going to work and, figure all this stuff out on my own. I'm going to show them. Right. Bro, no one cares. No one gives a shit about you knowing how to code and all that stuff. As long as you are providing value, that's all that matters. So work on that communication. Now, like I said, when I was talking about the code, the third thing I would tell myself is that don't worry about the code so much. Make sure that it functions. Functionality over form is the best way to go about it. Make sure that you have a good coding standard going about solving a problem, and you should do fine. But spending so much time on just relying on writing good, clean code is not really going to help you in any situation. If someone needs something out the door a lot faster and you're worried about every single detail, you're going to prolong that project. So just make sure that it works first. Make sure that everything in terms of while you're testing out this feature or you're testing out this bug fix, make sure that it's actually functioning the way it should. Try to break it. If you can't break it, then try to refactor it so that, it follows a certain standard, but never spend so much time making everything pixel perfect because at the end of the day, it's still going to be flawed and people are still going to find issues with it. And the last thing I want to talk about is take ownership of your career. Do not wait for someone to give you the ball. If you know that you have the skills to do something and you're confident in it, it will definitely show depending on who you're working with. But waiting until the last minute, waiting for that person to actually see that potential in you, as opposed to you just taking it, you're going to continue to wait year after year and you're going to get passed up by someone brand new that's being hired that knows more than you. And the way to stay in the game is actually knowing and having the confidence that you have the skills, number one. Number two, that you're able to showcase those skills in an effective way, not just within the code itself. Your communication plays a huge part in this, and always taking the lead on different issues. If there's an issue that comes up and no one wants to take it because they're afraid to fail, they're afraid of just spending too much time on a topic that they really don't care about, which is valid. But if you're able to take your time, dissect the problem, and actually be happy that you're working on that problem, you're going to change your whole mindset to solving anything. There have been times where I worked on projects that I really did not care about. And it was just assigned to me, and I was like, you know what? I could give it to someone else. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful to be working on a project, because if roles were reversed, I probably wouldn't be working on anything, right? Especially in the job market today, it is tough. So you got to be grateful that you're actually working for a company that is giving you work, that is trusting you to solve problems and actually improve the quality of the project, right? So if there's anything that you should be doing, don't just sit there and be isolated from the world and actually just work on stuff and just call it a day. Take ownership, because not only this principle will help you in your career, but it will help you with anything in life. If you're looking to get fit, it's only you that has to make that decision. No one else is going to motivate you to do that. You could watch a bunch of David Goggin videos. You could watch a bunch of weightlifting videos, motivationals. It's just words at the end of the day. You have to actually take action. If you don't take action on anything, you're going to be stagnant and you're going to be your worst enemy. All right. So, yes, it's scary to take action when you don't know the answers to everything, but at least you're making an attempt. And if you fail, that's fine. Learn from those mistakes and then apply it to other projects. And I guarantee you everything will get easier. Nothing gets easier when you're comfortable sitting at your desk working on the easiest problems. It is always through hardship. I've been through so many different hardships in my career, from getting passed up from a promotion, from failing at a hackathon, which I do have a video for that. If you want the full story, there's an annotation in this video. Just click that, watch that video. Let me know what you think about that. Just going through the paces of failing every single time and getting better at my communication, getting better at taking the lead and being like, hey, this is the way we're going to be doing things, shows that I am an authority figure. So if that's what you want to do, if that's what your career set is, then that's what you need to do, right? Don't just wait for anybody to just hand you something. Like, you have to take it. Right. And that's what I learned. And those are the things that I would tell myself if I was just starting out in my career. I wouldn't rely on other people to get me there. I would assert myself into these different situations to make myself uncomfortable, to do the things that nobody wants to do, and be good at it. Right. Even if you suck a couple times, the consistency needs to be there. So the more you're consistent, the easier things will be. Point blank, period. All right. So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if this advice resonates with you. And if it does, just drop a comment, man. I want to hear from you guys. And then also, if you need mentorship, if you need any advice on tech, where you want to go in 2026, if you should be using AI tools or not, is that cheating and all that stuff? If there's any projects that you need me to review personally, book a consultation with me. There's a link in the description, 15-minute consultation. We could talk about whatever you want. And if you want to work with me, we can schedule some additional time with me as well. All right. Talk soon.